Secretary of War Pete Hegseth also nudging the security alliance to purchase more American weapons, following a report suggesting a sharp fall in recent spending to support Ukraine in its war against Russia.
If there's anything we've learned under President Trump, is the active application of peace through strength. Yes. You get peace when you are strong, not when you use strong words or wag your finger. You get it when you have strong and real capabilities that adversaries respect.
Recent violations of European airspace fueling fears of conflict spilling over from the Ukraine war. NATO members have reported more cases of drone incursions, with many being linked to Russia. The European Union has proposed, quote, a drone wall to protect NATO's eastern flank to counter what it sees as a test of European resilience. Covering this meeting for CNA, William Denselow outside the NATO headquarters in Brussels. Pete Hegseth there urging NATO allies to spend more on weapons for Ukraine. What has the reaction been to that call?
That's absolutely right. Pete Hegseth said that more firepower is needed. Of course, back in June, we saw NATO allies take that major milestone step to boost defence spending from the previous benchmark of 2% of annual GDP from allies on defence to 5% in the future. Pete Hegseth said that what is imperative now is to translate those commitments into capabilities. Just a few moments ago, we heard from Mark Rutte, NATO's Secretary General. He says that he is impressed with the commitments already made by NATO allies. He expects more to come down the pike as well. When it comes to the issue squarely on Ukraine, well, there have been a number of commitments made by NATO allies. The UK, for its part, has said that in the past 6 months, they've pledged and provided 85,000 drones to Ukraine. The Netherlands has pledged over $100 million when it comes to supporting Ukraine's drone infrastructure. Now, these are very much interlinked with Europe-wide defensive security, especially considering those aerial incursions that you mentioned. This issue of sharing knowledge is seen as an absolutely crucial part of what NATO allies say makes the alliance so strong. That is something that they want to do going forward, to utilise Ukraine's knowledge base with its war in Russia to help bolster wider European security faced with these drone threats that we've seen in recent weeks.
Those incursions last month, firing up talk, there's been around a while now, on a drone wall for NATO's eastern flank. But the EU within itself, the last few weeks, failing to reach any unified position on how they will proceed on this drone wall. All kinds of challenges to actually erecting such a wall.
That's absolutely right. First of all, looking at the NATO response, of course, the majority of EU members are part of NATO, but they are not one and the same, of course. Looking at NATO, well, they have the Eastern Century programme that allies have said they'll bolster going forward. The UK, for example, is saying that it will send more jets to the likes of Poland to really help patrol the skies bordering the likes of Belarus and Russia. The US ambassador to NATO, Matt Whitaker, said yesterday that he believes that NATO's response to these hybrid threats, to these aerial incursions, has been an A+. But more needs to be done as far as NATO is concerned to further innovate. Mark Rutte has said that they'll be unveiling several programmes on how to address these hybrid threats, these aerial incursions going forward. Now, you mentioned the drone wall that the EU is proposing. Well, that has, as you rightly say, met a few snags. Some concerns that the initial proposal would really be benefiting just the eastern states, those in Scandinavia, as well as the likes of Romania, Poland, that have suffered already from these aerial incursions. But other countries in the EU say they need protection as well. That is something that's been discussed by member states. Defence ministers of the EU will be holding a working dinner later, and then a defence readiness plan for 2030 is set to be unveiled on Thursday, and a huge part of that will be further details on this EU drone wall.
Thanks. William Denselow, they're reporting for CNA in Brussels.